Tee. It is wonderful. I'm here in beautiful South Canada, and the sun is streaming through this window that's 8 feet above my head, but it's still nice. I'm in a kind of a dungeon of coaching. Yeah, yeah. No, there's nobody above me, Max. Nobody above me. Fantastic. Max, I think your audio is cut out. Would you click on the Zoom link again? Click on the Zoom link again in Discord. Here. Go ahead. Max has found the problem, and he'll be with us very soon.
Okay, can you guys hear me? I'm pretty sure everybody can hear me now. Sorry, for whatever reason, the OBS wasn't picking up my mic, even though it's supposed to do it automatically every time I open OBS. So that's okay, though, because you guys didn't hear my stupid joke at the very beginning. So thank God I can recover from that. Sorry about that, guys. So, anyways, let's just start this again, John. Welcome to the Differently Wired show, ladies and gentlemen, episode 28. I'm Max Derrat. John has joined me as always, and just to catch you up on that, he's doing well. He has a skylight installed above him, but don't worry, people aren't living above him.
That's true.
You missed that joke, though. That one was pretty good. Like I said, we have a whole bunch of stuff that we need to get through. Very quickly, I'll just do it again. Facebook page. There's a link to it in the description box below. Like it if you haven't already. Discord server. We hit 500 members. That's what John was just saying. Wow, congratulations to. By the way, we need moderators. We're pretty good right now. We're pretty stable, but eventually, because the channel seems to be growing at a rapid pace, and so it's a Discord server. We're going to need people to police. Hopefully without the brutality, unless they deserve it. No, I'm kidding. Just we would appreciate anybody that would like to volunteer, and if you use Discord relatively often, we'd love to have you in there. And we have a lovely community of people that are very, very easy to talk to. So just let me know by joining the Discord server. You can do so by clicking on the link in the description box below, or you could just reach out to me any other way. You can tweet me on Twitter. You can send me an email if you want to be a moderator. It's all good. Anyways, we do have a big show today, so let's just jump right into the main topic. John, this one was suggested to me actually by my mother. I'm just yeah, I'm trying to. You can wonder why. She, the reason why I don't always like to pick topics that I think are relevant. I always like to get a different opinion. That's why I ask you from time to time. And my mom suggested this to me out of a list of different topics, but it stood out to me as one that's actually quite important. As I'm sure you see a lot with your clients that are on the spectrum, but even with clients that aren't, there is this endemic need among human beings to sort of assert our perspective on the world and to be validated for that without from time to time realizing how our intended effects could be the exact opposite. Um, and from time to time, if we're not careful, I especially learned this in my own experience, which I'll get to in a second. It can actually lead to quite traumatic events in our lives that we can't really move past, and it can be quite traumatic because we're partially or mostly at fault when it comes to attempting to be right all the time. I was just wondering, John, like in your experience with your clients, have you experienced stories like this where things have gotten quite out of hand?
Oh, yeah, it is quite common for high functioning autism folks to correct things that are not quite right. It all shows up in all kinds of ways. One is a very heightened sense of justice. If something is unjust, folks that are differently wired notice it, it bothers them, and they want to correct the injustice. And that could be a spelling error, it could be a mispronunciation of a word, and they feel quite often the need to get it right. Some of that is just natural, and some of it may be due to a lot of other things in, a differently wired world being unstable. So if you can see some sort of stability somewhere, you want to latch onto it. This is right. This is the right color. This is the right spelling. This is the right word. This is the right idea. This is the right way to treat people. And when you think you know the right way, you want to share it. So it can lead to problems, though. It can lead to you correcting. There's a very kind of infamous and famous scene from Doc Martin, who's on Netflix, where this woman who's a teacher has a crush on Doc Martin. And he's he acts like a differently wired sort of person. And as they have their first kiss, he says she should come round and see him because he can fix her breath. Wrong words in a romantic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, wrong. So he thought he was doing the right thing. I can help you with this breath problem. This is not what she wanted to hear, of course. Not the right time.
Well, I mean, she didn't have to eat the fish, the garlic fish. Like that you would think that would be self-evident. She's the one at fault here. I'm just speaking from, the type of person that Doc Martin supposedly is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they didn't hit it off, even though they tried because of stuff like that. He was always needing to be correct and do the right thing, and he was rather stiff about it. It's actually a great show. I would recommend it to folks. This is a little series from, I can't remember if it's on Acorn TV or Netflix. I'm not sure which one. It's a great series.
I personally wouldn't know because unfortunately I don't watch a lot of TV. I just don't have the time. But basically, that sounds great. What you just told me. Another thing that comes to mind. You ever see A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe and Jennifer Connelly?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know what scene I'm talking about that I'm going to reference.
Go ahead.
It's the one where they're in the bar and Russell Crowe being the character that he plays. I can't remember what his real life name was, but anyways, he's a brilliant guy, but unfortunately he doesn't understand social convention. So when he tries to go and flirt with a woman at a bar who's giving him the goo goo eyes, he goes over to her not knowing what to say, and he just approaches it logically, and he's just like, is it okay if we skip past the formalities and just go right towards sex? And then I think she slaps him in the face. I can't remember, it's been a while, but it's a good movie.
Yeah, it's a very good movie.
Yeah, I think it won the Oscar for Best Picture, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, sorry?
A beautiful movie.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's stuff like that where I can think of so many different scenarios in my life where I've done something like that, not knowing how my efforts towards trying to make the situation better for all parties involved and doing it innocently can be taken in absolutely the wrong way. I was just actually discussing this with my mother over dinner before we started the show, about scenarios from my life where this was the case. Because of the neuroatypical need for order, otherwise everything just completely goes out of hand. Anything that sort of challenges that inner mental stability, it can be devastating. And this is something that I've dealt with as far back as I can remember. I remember when I was like in grade 2, during recess, we would play this miniature form of hockey where instead of playing with actual hockey sticks, we would play with these small versions of sticks where you'd just be hunched over and pushing a tiny little stick across the pavement, and you score using a ball or something. And I used to play it pretty much every recess, but I just found that the tendency for people that I was on a team with or on the other team to cheat and to use unfair methods to win, I found myself just at the age of 7, just wanting to give up and cry because nobody seemed to be receptive to the need to play by the rules and play an ethical game, right? And that's as far back as that. But even recently, like I can use my YouTube channel as an example. For people that have been with me ever since, I think it was early 2015 that I started this channel, people will remember that I used to do a lot of videos on politics. And for the most part, I've either unlisted or deleted a lot of those videos because the reason why I did them in the first place was I saw around me the fact that the world seemed to be in complete chaos. And I was so disgusted by the state of things that I wanted to have some semblance of control over it. So what I would do is I would do YouTube videos where I'd call out random people on the internet or just public figures like politicians and stuff like that and do videos on that and use it as a way to get across my anger or be pithy or be sarcastic. And what I didn't realize, and what a lot of people don't seem to realize on YouTube nowadays, is that by trying to call out this stuff and trying to pick a fight everywhere possible, I was actually probably making the whole situation worse, making people on both sides resentful rather than trying to remedy the situation. So the results of that was the fact that I no longer want to do stuff that divides people and sort of add to this fear of pure negativity that we have online nowadays, and try to find ways.
CNN can handle all that for us.
Well, here's the thing. Like, you say CNN, and then there's going to be somebody in the comment section being like, "What about Fox News, man? You forgot about Fox News. What are you, a partisan idiot?" You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, you seem like a partisan idiot yourself, but I mean, like, whatever. But yeah, you get the point. Then there comes the problem of, well, how do you overcome something like this? How do you teach people that are on the spectrum, or even just regular people in general, when to pick their battles? And like John, obviously you're the expert in regards to talking to people like this, and this is something that I still struggle with myself. I was just wondering, like, when you've encountered this, what do you tend to tell these people?
We tend to workshop on a particular item, one thing at a time. It's useless to use big bromides like, oh, try to do this, try to do that, or do this or do that. That's kind of a waste of time, and we've all heard that enough in our lives. So what we do is we locate a situation. Well, let's say Doc Martin comes to me, and he talks about this problem. When he kisses girls, he reminds them about their breath, and they all get mad at him. Okay, well, we talk about that particular situation. So we approach it a different way. Well, what about if we try this or try that? Or, we workshop a small issue. We don't try to do everything at once. For instance, there was a case the other day where a fellow who had difficulty making eye contact was talking across another person all the time because he wasn't seeing the signals where this other person would begin to open their mouth to speak. He would seem to be interrupting, and in fact was interrupting, but not on purpose. So this creates all kinds of drama because somebody's going to speak and they're about to say, well, you don't understand, and you interrupt them. It sounds really disrespectful. So they get mad. So it creates a great tension, and it's all about a misunderstanding. So one of the really great cues for problems with, interrupting, for instance, especially when you need to be right, is you look at the other person and stop a moment, even a short time. So using your eyes to help your mouth, as it were.
Yeah, just to determine whether or not you should go further.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because even though cues are hard for some of us to spot and read, the gap in time will give us a chance to notice or give the other person a chance to feel as though they were listened to. We've talked about that before, but one of the big problems you have if you're differently wired is if you appear not to care what people are saying, then they stop caring about what you're saying. So then they stop caring about you, and so on and so forth.
Right. And it also helps, like at some point in the conversation or when you're interacting with somebody or even when you're just beginning an acquaintance or a friendship with somebody, just try to get across to them, look, I have certain social issues that I'm trying to get control over. I just want to let you know that my intentions are entirely pure and entirely dedicated to trying to promote a calm, relaxing, and constructive atmosphere. And once you do that, I've found in my own personal experience, for the most part, people tend to be quite accepting of that, and people tend to be quite understanding. So once you begin these interactions with other people, just put that out there. And then when you're in the middle of a conversation with somebody, try not to be paranoid all the time. You want to get to a point where you're relaxed. But at the beginnings, just trying to be on the lookout for anything that might indicate aggravation or, God forbid, anger from the person that you're talking to. Obviously, the subtle things we won't understand, but when somebody gets angry or aggravated, those tend to be more explicit emotions. And for the most part, people that are differently wired and are bad with social cues will be able to get something like that. I certainly do.
Yeah.
Anyways, that does it for the main topic, guys. I want to hear from you, though. Like, I'm sure tons of you have had experiences where you've felt the need to constantly be right about something and it's sort of backfired on you. We'd love to hear from you in the comment section below, or for the people that are in the live chat right now, we'd like to hear from you. Or for all the callers that we have lined up, we'd love to hear from you if you have any stories like this that you'd like to share. Speaking of callers, we are going to be switching over to Discord in just a second so that we can do the call-in segment. But before I do, I just want to explain how this works to people that might just be joining us for the first time. So every show that we do for the Differently Wired show, every Wednesday, we like to save some time towards the middle and end of the show so that we can hear from people directly, so they can talk to John and I through a call. And the way that we do that is we do it through Discord. Like I said before, there's a link to our Discord server in the description box below, and it's very easy to sign up. All you have to do is, I'll put an image up on screen right now. All you have to do is just go to the text chats that you should see on the far left side of your screen, scroll down, and you'll see one that says call and sign up. If you want to talk to John and I directly during the call-in segment, all you have to do is click on that text chat and put in your name, and you're ready to go. Now, if you guys don't mind, just give us about 60 seconds. We're going to switch over to Discord right now. I'm just going to play some music, and we will be right back. Just hang tight. Right? See, I told you that'd be easy. Wait, hold on, though. It seems like John's still having a bit of trouble. Come on, John. Come on, John. He's having a bit of trouble. I'll see if I can get him in here, guys. Just give me 1 second. I'll call him again. Remove friend. No, I don't want to remove him as a friend. Darn it. La 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 la. What the? Come on, John. All right. Anyways, let's see if I can get. Sorry, guys. Just give me another minute. I'm just gonna play some music again. And I think we got him. John, are you there?
I am.
There we go. All right. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we're gonna jump right into the calls because we have a lot of people to get to. First of all, where is your name? Trailer Trasher. We have Trailer Trasher. Can you hear us, dude?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, what's happening, Deadpool?
Yeah,
you,
that's
you got
honestly, it's my absolute favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, you guys can't see, but his avatar on Discord is the picture of Deadpool from Deadpool 2, where he's doing the flash dance parody, where instead of the water pouring on him, it's a bunch of bullets. Yeah,
It's absolutely amazing.
yeah, I love that movie. My dad loves that movie to death. Um, anyways, how you doing today, dude? What do you want to talk about?
I'm doing okay. I figured that I should, at some point in time, introduce myself. I did volunteer to be a listener, so I figured that if I should probably just get on here and have people hear my voice and maybe just tell people a little about myself. I do want to thank you, Max, for your videos. They have helped exponentially with my growth. When I found out, my sister told me that I might have autism
Mm,
because her son was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome,
okay.
and they said my sister might have it too, and it only makes sense that I also might have it because it's very possible it runs in my family.
Mm.
So,
Well,
uh,
well, first of all, can I just say thank you for your kind
yeah,
words, and I hope I can continue to be of service to you. Um, and also, I just want to thank you for volunteering to be a listener. Just very quickly, in case you guys don't know what he means by that, we recently added a role in our Discord server called Listeners, and Trailer Trasher is one of them. If you need somebody to talk to about whatever's on your mind, if you need some emotional support, feel free to join the Discord server and look to the right of the Discord window. You'll see a list of people with green names, and those are the listeners. Feel free to message them at any time and talk to them about whatever's on your mind. So thank you, Trailer Trasher, for volunteering to do that. It's an immense help to me as well as everybody that's a part of the community.
yeah, just I have a lot of experiences as far as with bullying, from even all the way to suicidal thoughts and tendencies and stuff like that. I've dealt with all of it as far as my personal life, and if I could bring something to the table and have help somebody who may be going through a rough time, that I've gone through myself. Been through homelessness and all kinds of other things that maybe I can help someone through a rough time.
Well, absolutely. That's what we're all here to do. Um, I
Right.
think somebody, I can't remember who it said, it might have been you in the call and sign up chat, that we have a pretty supportive community here. Um, so, in regards to experience that you want to share, like, do you want to sort of go along with the main topic today? Like, do you have any experiences you want to share where you felt,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So, growing up, I was a complete know-it-all. I think someone said in the YouTube chat that I don't always have to be right, but I need to be proven wrong in order for me to be wrong.
Yeah, yeah, that's me too.
And my parents and no one quite understood. I never really understood myself why I was the way I was until recently, of course, when things started actually clicking. And it was like like a the world made sense when I found out that I probably have uh, Asperger's syndrome.
Hmm.
So it was like a light came on. It was really an interesting moment in my life. But yeah, uh,
Can you maybe like, this is something, what you just said there about feeling the need to be proven wrong in order to let something go. Uh, in your experience, like, have you been able to take control of that? Like, what's some things that you do to bring that under control, if applicable?
yeah. So it's a lot of just trying to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, bite your
Like,
tongue.
yeah, there's a lot of times when even if I don't have all the information, I used to just speak up anyways, even though I may not even understand everything about the topic. I would just barge in and say my uneducated opinion regardless if I knew about the topic or not. I've since have gotten a lot better about doing researching and other things, so I actually have educated opinions about things. But I do my best to try to not barge into conversations that I don't know much about. And I usually just am more honest and open about just saying, you know what, I know nothing about this. I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Hmm. John, does that seem like a worthwhile strategy? Just trying to. Go ahead.
Absolutely. It is especially good to be honest and open. When you say you don't know something about something, that makes people not feel threatened at all. That actually takes a lot of pressure off the conversation. So it's a good strategy to do that.
Yeah, you know what? That sort of made a light bulb go off in my head. What you were just saying there. It's like when we don't understand like why somebody might hold a certain opinion, even if they're wrong. What might help is if we sort of put forward a sense of openness about ourselves and just try to communicate to people. Look, I want to hear more from you. I want to learn. If you hold a particular position, I want to make sure that I understand it. And just by doing that and not by saying anything at all, um, it's actually a quite effortless way of maintaining good social relationships, friendships, acquaintanceships, that sort of thing. At least that's
Yep.
like I've sort of realized over the last year or so I've been doing that unconsciously, but you saying it out loud there, John, it gave it a legitimacy. Trailer Trasher, I just
Yes,
wanted to
sir.
ask before we let you go if there was anything else you wanted to say or bring up.
No, just if anyone has any issues or going through a hard time, go ahead and just send me a little chat message. Gladly to just talk to anybody who wants to talk.
You're the man, Piscina de la Muerta, as Deadpool would say. Um, that's Spanish for Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to talk to Trailer Trasher specifically, in the Discord server, his name is all one word, Trailer Trasher, as if he was trashing a trailer. Um, like, like one that you would live in, not necessarily a movie trailer. I don't know, or that too.
I lived in a trailer for majority of my life, so.
Ah, okay. Well, there you go. Hopefully, it's not too trashed. Anyways, thank you so much, Trailer, for offering your services, and we'd love to have you on again and on the Differently Wired show in the future.
No problem.
All right, you're the man. See you later. Who do we have up next? That would be. Well, she goes by two names. Let me unmute her. Should we refer to you as Finn Hiccup or other name here?
Other name here is fine.
Okay. How's it going? Other name here.
At this moment, I'm doing great. A bit nervous, of course.
Oh, there's no need to be nervous. John and I are very non-judgmental people. Well, that's not true. I'm judgmental of him, and he's judgmental of me. But
But
to
that's
other
as
people,
far as it goes.
yeah, that's about as far as it goes. How's it? Where are you calling from, by the way?
I'm calling from Belgium, so it's a bit late.
Whoa! Do you speak French?
Un peu.
Un peu. Oh, okay. Je suis. How can I say this? C'est un plaisir de vous rencontrer. Do you understand that?
Oui.
Yes. All right. Cool. So, what do you want to talk about today? Other name here.
Well, I wanted to share some opinion about or a suggestion about the how driving systems or teaching how to drive, because I've had some negative experiences with those systems in the country that I live in.
Okay.
Because, of course, I had to do driving lessons, but when I went for my exam, my examinator said, you did everything well, you did everything right, but I am sensing some abnormal social cues, so that's why I'm not letting you pass. So
Ooh.
that was quite
Ooh.
upsetting. So I had to redo a health check, but that was denied. So I had to redo it again, but that also had a chance of getting denied. But then we threatened to go into higher court. So eventually they just let it go, but I have to go again in about a month. So I'm a bit nervous and maybe looking for some tips to improve my social strategies.
I don't understand that at all. Like, why would your ability to socialize with somebody be at all important when it comes to driving? Like, John, like, can you think of anything? Or, I don't know.
No, I don't. I don't think. I don't think I can understand why that would be.
Do you understand? Sorry. Do you understand, like, do you know why, like, that would be at all important in regards to your test of the name here?
Well, maybe of reaction time or getting into unexpected situations, but if I've done all the lessons right and the rest of the exam also the right way, then I don't really see a reason. But it it's quite double in the sense from okay, maybe it's just trying to play it safe and play it safe for me so that I don't get in a car accident in about 2 weeks.
Mm.
But it's also I've passed my theoretical and my normal driving test, so why should he deny me?
Yeah, it's a very bizarre thing. I'm wondering, like, if it's like Cross said here in the chat here, could it be a cultural or country law stigma? Well, even if it's a stigma, like, there's got to be certain protections for certain groups of people, because, like, if you are naturally predisposed to not be social, there's got to be some level of forgiveness there. I mean, there's a lot of idiots on the road enough as it is. If you're getting all the important stuff right, you would think that they would give precedence to people like you. But nah, even in situations like this, people tend to be quite prejudiced. What I recommend, other name here, once you go for your driving test, or just maybe ask, like, why that sort of thing would be important, and then report back to us, because this is such a bizarre thing.
Okay.
Okay. John, is there anything else you wanted to say on the subject?
Nope.
No? Okay. Other name here. Before we let you go, is there anything else you wanted to say or bring up?
Well, I can report back if I've done my driver's test, maybe on another call-in podcast or just on the Discord channel itself.
Yes, absolutely. We'd love to hear back from you, because this is one of the weirdest things I've ever heard. I did, like, after everything that you've gone through, as you obviously learned from the situation, I'm fully confident that you will be able to get your approval, and you will be able to drive the streets of Belgium. Although I don't know why everything's so packed over there. John, have you ever been to Europe?
I've been. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, where'd you go?
Everything's. Germany, England.
Would you ever want to drive there?
I would not drive there.
Yeah, I've been to a whole bunch of places. Where have I been to in Europe? I've been to England. I've been to France. France is the worst when it comes to trying to drive. I have an interesting. I'll just share the story quickly. I went overseas about 9 years ago to get my grade 12 French credit. And I went to Nice, and the streets there are so cramped that one night I was sitting out front of the hostel that I was staying at, and the bus that brought us there, he was trying to parallel park, and he totaled the front of this guy's BMW. And I was sitting there when it was happening. I was just so I was so shocked. But I don't know why. Everything, it's nearly impossible to drive there. Anyways, hopefully we're not putting you off of doing the test again. We believe in you.
No, thank you.
Other name here. And please do report back once you figure out these things. Thanks so much for coming on.
I shall do that.
All right. Merci beaucoup. Anyways, I'm gonna have to move on. Who is number 3? That would be Cross. Cross, you're unmuted.
Hello, sup? I'm
Sup,
Cross.
sup, player? What's poppin'?
Nothing much. I just thought I'd introduce myself here and finally get to meet you, Matt. It's a pleasure.
It's a
Or
pleasure
Matt.
for me.
Yeah. I've been diagnosed with autism since age 9, and I was re-diagnosed eventually to Asperger's, I think, in my teenage years.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw one of your videos recently about a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, about the same time that I entered your Discord recently, so whatever that time is. And I thought I could be a benefit to your community, and, I saw some potential in your videos, so there you go there.
Well, dude, thank you so much for joining. We're happy to have anybody, like as many people here as we can, because the fact of the matter is, I'm sure you've experienced this as I have, having AS, and the fact that very few people, relatively speaking, have it. We tend to feel quite alone. So by providing that central hub where people like us can gather together, we can hopefully provide each other the support that we collectively need.
Exactly, and I wanted to bring something to the discussion and conversation here and there about, what daily life is about somebody who has Asperger's or autism, or bring some empathy to the discussion.
Absolutely. Is there anything, like 1 or 2 things in particular you want to share with us while we have you?
Well, pertaining to the current topic, because I have a whole slew of things that I'd like to share, but I don't think we have the time.
Oh, well, it could be about whatever you want. It could be about the main topic, or it could be about something specific to you. It's totally cool.
Okay, well, to keep things relevant, I'll stick with the topic at hand. I never necessarily had to deal with the problems with always having to feel that I am right, or having to contipulate an argument in order to feel validated in some way. But I have been on the other side, where I have discussed with someone else who has autism or Asperger's and has a problem with ADHD and always feeling like they need to argue or make their point valid. So when I'm always in those situations, it's always hard to discuss with that person or show that they are wrong, because in their eyes, you're wrong. So no matter what, when I'm in those conversations, I've always had to carry a hint of forgiveness or grace. Or if I have to bring something to their argument, I always have to pose things as a question, such as, have you ever thought of it this way? Or have you thought that things could go in this direction?
And have you found that helps you out for the most part?
For the most part, it doesn't change his views, but my intent is to try to get him to thinking that he could be wrong. And I don't know if it necessarily works, but it leads to less conflict.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, what you're saying there is a brilliant way, a brilliant extension of what John and I were just presenting before about how you can just not say anything at all, but just let the other person talk. And what you're doing right there is providing incentive for them to continue talking. And plus, it works for both parties involved. You learn more, and they're allowed to get their point across, and they feel like they're being listened to.
Yeah. And granted, in my youth, I've had something similar where I'm talking passionate about something, and what I'm saying, it gets misconstrued as something aggressive. And I'm not necessarily arguing or saying something intended to be mean. I'm just talking about something passionately. So a lot of times, if I catch myself in that moment, I always have to recontextualize the meaning of what I'm saying and saying, hey, this isn't meant to be aggressive. I'm just talking passionately. and I try to control my tone and turn it into a positive tone if it sounds too aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to be the exact same way. Just the moment I remember this one time, a friend of mine told me that the Hobbit trilogy was better than the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I nearly broke everything in the figuratively speaking. Yeah, there are people out there that believe that, ladies and gentlemen. Try not to be too shocked. Yeah, John, like,
Well, I'm shocked.
yeah, like, why? Why? That's like saying the prequel trilogy is better than the original trilogy from the Star Wars canon. KDG, don't at me on that one. Just my friend KTG, he might be listening right now. John, like, when it comes to like speaking passionately about something and trying to make sure people that we're speaking to realize that that's the case and we're not trying to be aggressive. Does Cross's strategy seem like a sound one?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's something that you will learn more about as you go along, but you can't help speaking sometimes with passion. If you care about something, it'll come out that way. And, taking a page from your playbook, Max, you could let people know that, look, I'm not meaning to be argumentative. I just care a lot about this thing. You can try to let them know that this is a characteristic of yours, not necessarily that you want to go to war with them.
Yeah, and besides, like, there are people out there that would appreciate the level of passion that people on the spectrum tend to have for certain things. It's something that's because we tend to be so intensely focused on one or two things. It can be something that neurotypicals tend to find a lot of solace in. Like,
and I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, and I think what also helps is reminding people of the core intention behind the discussion when you're talking passionately. That way they're grounded and don't let their heads trail off into a different negative train of thought.
Yeah, it's all, the boundaries are set. You try to work within those things so that way you don't completely go off to the left or the right. And people don't tend to take their focus off of what's important and make sure that they don't get angry or sad about something. Yeah. I used to, just very quickly, I used to have that problem too, especially a couple of years ago when I was, in groups and working on stuff at university. But once I set those parameters, everything flowed so much smoothly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you.
Oh, okay,
Sorry for speaking out of turn.
No, it's okay. See, the unfortunate thing about Discord is that the delay and the mics. I don't know when to start speaking or stop speaking, so it can be a little bit awkward in that regard. But anyways, was there anything else you wanted to say, Cross, before we let you go?
No, other than it's really nice to meet you, Max, and I hope I can be a benefit to the conversation.
Oh, dude, you've been great. Thank you so much for coming on. We'd love to have you on again. Talk about whatever you want.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Oh, just before you go. Where's your avatar from?
Oh, it's a random anime avatar that I picked off of Pinterest.
Oh, okay. I'm just interested because the art style is actually pretty cool. Like,
right?
Yeah.
I enjoy it a lot. Like, most of what the art that I show on my icons or my avatars, I don't personally own. And if the artist does come up, I make sure to reference them. But yeah.
Yeah, it's important to do that.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, if you guys want to have me on or there's another call-on segment, I'll definitely be glad to hop on. Oh, another thing, just a couple details about me before I go. I'm 25 years old, and I'm from North Dakota.
Oh, cool. I'm one of those things, the former. Turning 26 in a few months. So, cool.
Okay, I feel you.
Yeah, 25. It's an interesting age. Thanks so much for coming on, Cross. We do this, like you said, you want to come on later. We do this every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So feel free to sign up anytime.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Right. Thanks so much, dude. All right. Moving on to somebody that's very familiar to our live shows. It is Flufflebun making her glorious return. Flufflebun, you there?
Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. How about you?
pretty damn good, actually. The channel's good, and it's no longer as hot as it was the last couple days. I was absolutely baking them biscuits in this bad boy.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, I got burned this weekend, so
It's
I know that feeling.
yeah, I have a great tendency to get burned. You know, it's the pasty white Irish skin, so I tend to stay indoors a lot.
I wish I could say that that was the reason why, is because I'm Irish. I'm not Irish. I'm Dominican. I should be tanning, but I am pasty white as well.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so
Yeah, I know.
so what do you want to talk about today, Fluffle?
Well, I was gonna go along with the whole theme of always trying to be right, and that one was just a big one for me because I was like, man, that's the story of my life.
Mm.
Basically, growing up, my whole life, my mom would always call me the debater, the encyclopedia. Oh, yeah, I am the debater. She would call me the lawyer. I'm a lawyer,
Mm.
and
Yeah, it's you know what's funny? I also was called the debater when I was a young kid. Although because half my family is actually from England, and they tend to refer to people not as Mister but as Master, that tended to lead towards quite awkward conversations. Anyways, let's not go there. Anyways, continue, Fluffle, please.
so yeah, it was just like, man, that sounds like me pretty much. I think most of my social problems come from just like not really intentionally trying to fight with anybody or argue. I just seem like I'm always trying to press ideas on others, which I'm not. I'm not really trying to convince others to really think the same way I do, but I'm not really sure if what I'm saying is coming out right and that getting that validation.
And
So,
and you say that that's something that you had to deal with growing up. Like, have you sort of gotten a better hold of it later on in life, or are you still somewhat the same way?
to be honest, no.
Okay.
I'm trying to avoid it, but I do it when I'm not really noticing, and then people are like, you corrected me." I'm like, "I did? Oh my god."
Yeah, it's an unconscious function. It's just because, you know, people that are on the spectrum, everything needs to be in order and in harmony. And if something seems to even like subtly threaten that, it could throw us into chaos because, you know, we're sensitive that way. So I understand.
Yeah,
you
and
know,
it bugs you all day.
Yeah.
It really does bug me. I mean, I don't go crazy about it, but I think about it constantly. Like, was I wrong? Was I right? Did I say it right? Did I do something bad? And it just like turns me into, like, it gets me in a spiral where sometimes I'll just sit there for no reason, just think about it.
Just brood on it.
Yeah, and it bothers really bad.
That's the thing. It's just like I can't fault anybody that doesn't want to remedy their desire to be right. It's because once you try to keep your mouth shut, or you try to, you know, use certain techniques so the other person talks more, if they say something really, really stupid and you know that's wrong, it's just like, God, how can somebody believe that?
Yeah.
And, you know, working in retail, it's just like, you know, so often you just go home and you just wonder what it's like to not have a brain. But anyways.
That's exactly what I think constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are a few occasions where my mom and I bump heads because of it. I guess she has the same exact problem as I do, as like, oh well, I know what's the right way and the wrong way. So today, and I was wrong, I'll admit that. But basically I was driving and the GPS was telling me to get off on exit 25. I'm like, okay. So I have to get over to the right side, right? And she's like, no, you gotta stay on the left side. And I'm like, what? Isn't it that exit with the split? And then she's just like, no, it's not that. And I'm like, well, I remember this. And yeah, we were just kind of going back and forth. And my grandmother was like, oh Lord, just like each other.
Was everything cool? Like, did you manage to, you know, forgive each other after the whole thing?
Oh, it wasn't like a major argument, but it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like, we kind of just stayed shut about it because I knew I was wrong, and she knew she was right.
Mm. Sorry to interrupt, but John, what are you eating dinner over there?
No, I was just moving some stuff around.
Okay, I just like we're trying to do a show and you're redecorating or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm doing some
It's
renovations here.
Oh, you are?
But I was thinking, as I was listening to Fluffo,
Mhm.
it seems like she's such a gentle personality that a lot of this stuff might be confusing, but it's probably not very threatening to people around her.
Yeah, I was just about to say the exact same thing. Thanks so much for bringing that up, John. Yeah, it's true. Maybe that's the reason why what you just went through probably turned out as well as it did, just because you meant no harm by it. It's so obvious.
Yeah, sometimes that's the case. My mom and I, we bump heads so much that we kind of are harsh on each other. But like when I'm doing that with friends, they kind of just like stay quiet, and I'm just like, oh, oops. I think they're mad at me, but they don't want to say it,
Mhm.
or
But
they don't want to seem like they are.
but do they know like why you are have the tendency to do that?
No,
Oh, they
no,
don't.
they've always seen me as that kind of person.
Okay, well, if things are going okay right now, then maybe it's something to worry about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said before, I never really went, like got a diagnosis like that, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I kind of don't want to make it public anymore because I feel like people are gonna think I'm crazy or something.
Right. Well, it's not something like John and I have discussed this in the past on the show. It's like you got to be sort of selective about who you disclose it to. If you are friends with somebody and you've been friends with them for a long time, then I think it's ideal to do something like that. It can actually bring you together a whole lot closer. Yeah, like that's been my experience at least. I don't know how you feel about that.
I'm not too sure, but I'll try to ease it in. I still haven't said anything to close family.
Okay, and if you need help with that, obviously message call back into the show at any time or talk to somebody on the server.
All right.
All right. Sorry to hurry you along, Fluffle Bunny. It's just like we have a couple other people that we gotta go to, and we're almost.
I know.
Yeah. But we always love having you on here, obviously.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. Hopefully things will work out, and feel free to call us back anytime.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Have a good night. And one other thing I just wanted to say. In regards to being right all the time, sometimes it's actually beneficial, especially when it comes to telling people that Rhode Island isn't, in fact, an island.
Oh, yeah, that was the first thing I did to you. Oh, my God.
It's okay. It's a good thing. It's okay. I took the L on it, but you know what? It's a learning experience. The L is for learning.
L.
Yeah. It was a funny L. All right. Thank you so much, Flufflebun. Talk to you next time. See. We have two other people. Diamond Clone, I'm pretty sure you can hear me. We're not going to have time to do a full call with you, but I know you want to give a shill for your channel. I will let you do that. I'm just going to unmute. Wait a minute. Magnus, the pimp, hasn't been muted? Oh, damn. Well, he's been very quiet. Thank you so much for that, Magnus. How's it going?
Yeah, not bad. How are you?
I'm pretty good, dude. Where are you calling from?
Australia.
Australia? Is it? What time is it there?
10 a.m.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. See,
Thursday, so I'm in the future.
Really? What's it like? Has the entire world gone to shit and excuse my language, and been taken over by damn dirty apes?
It's cold is what it is.
Oh, right. Yeah, because you're in the southern hemisphere. Sorry about that, dude. Well, at least I trust that you're inside warm and cozy. I mean, you are listening to John and I, so I hope we aid in that regard. Anyway, so what do you want to talk about, dude?
Well, I have an on-topic anecdote and an off-topic question.
Sure.
The anecdote is, I was speaking with my brother about a year ago or something. And I don't remember exactly what he was saying, but he said something, he mispronounced the word, and I corrected him. And he's like, thanks. And he continued going, and he said the word again, the way I'd corrected him. But I didn't realize that, and I corrected him again. Back to the old way he'd said it.
Mm-hmm. Really?
So, immediate switch, and I have no idea why I did it.
It's an instinctual
luckily,
thing.
Yeah, and luckily he was. He's been dealing with my crap for all his life, so he put me out on it immediately, which was pretty funny.
Yeah, yeah. When you have that relationship where you put up with each other's crap for so long, it's just like, oh, that's just another thing. I know that at least from my relationship with my sister. But sorry, go ahead.
As for my off-topic question, my caseworker has pointed out to me that I'm really good with my self-regulation of like sensory issues. I've never actually noticed it; it's more subconscious. But she's suggested I might be able to help other ASD people with their own struggles with that area. I was just wondering if you knew of any good resources to learn more about the topic, because I don't feel like I know enough objectively to get into that.
Oh, like just general information about ASD?
Yeah, as well as specifically sensory issues and how to deal with them.
Okay. Well, John, like I sort of been talking first for all these calls. You sort of want to recommend him a couple things?
Well, I know more about the issues related to ADHD, which is, there are certain crossovers and similarities.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad to use some of those. One of my favorite texts, which is, I think, very helpful, is the one I mentioned before, Delivered from Distraction by Halwell and Rady. As to resources specific to autism, in Canada, there's the Geneva Center, is it? And what's the one, Max, you and I were talking about a couple of months ago? That's a kind of local to Ontario.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Somebody's Place.
Oh, Carrie's Place. Yes.
Carrie's Place.
Yeah.
That's full of resources. Kerrys, Carrie's Place. So it's actually worth clicking on those. It doesn't matter which country they're in, of course. You can grab onto all of this stuff, and it's quite a bit of stuff there.
Yeah, that's absolutely the one place that I would recommend above all else. Even though, like, I think they are based in Canada, they do have organizations across the world, and even if they don't have one in your local area, they can provide you the services like that or information like the stuff that you're requesting in regards to sensory issues. Did you get that, Magnus? The name of the place?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Carrie's Place, and that book was Delivered from Distraction, was it?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's another book. I think it's called "Do Not Look Me in the Eye." I'm just looking this up. Sorry for the typing noise, guys. There's a book. I can't remember who did the name of it. Oh, it was believe it or not, John. The guy that wrote this book that I'm thinking of is called John Elder Robinson. So just two out of three names similar. He did a book called I think "Don't Look Me in the Eye." Or Look Me in the Eye. It's something along those lines, but it deals with the problems when it comes to sensory issues and sensitivity when it comes to body language and looking people in the eye and stuff along those lines.
Also, I got to mention, Magnus, have you seen Max's videos on Asperger's?
Yes, actually, it's one of the things that led me to actually getting myself diagnosed.
Great. Okay. Well, I mean, those are good resources.
Yeah.
They are. I've
Oh, sorry. I when it comes to giving people resources, I don't like to shill because it might just make the entire show seem like I'm just doing self-promotion. I always like to try and provide resources outside of that. But what I noticed when I do the videos is that when it comes to getting across to people what's going on inside their heads, people tend to present those videos to other people as information to legitimize what they're going through. So that might help in some regard. We're almost done the show. Magnus, is there anything you wanted to say before you left?
Thank you so much for doing your videos. They've been a major help.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on the show and talking to us. We'd love to hear from you again. All right.
Cheers.
All right, cheers, dude, and best of luck with the winter weather. So finally, we Diamond Clone. I know he just wanted to shell something real quick. You're unmuted, dude.
Your local idiot is back, boys. All right. So
hold on. Let me bring down your mic just a little bit. You're a tiny bit loud. Okay, go ahead.
sorry, I was yelling.
It's okay. It's okay.
So I just uploaded. The dogs are barking and it's driving me nuts. Anyway, I just uploaded a video to YouTube called "When Noobs Try Devil May Cry." It's meh, so. Check that out. I have it in the Discord. Yes.
Perfect.
Other thing, since I became a moderator, I'm still a listener. Just so you know. So if you need to talk to me and all that stuff, you know what to do.
Yeah.
His
full name on the Discord server is The Diamond Clone, all one word. The Diamond Clone.
I'm also looking for somebody to make me a profile picture for my YouTube channel. So if I do get rich and famous one day, I'm kidding, but
yeah,
yes.
Residuals. That's where it's at, guys. You might want to produce the picture now. Don't be like that guy that made the Nike logo where you only get $50 once you sell it to somebody. Anyways, thank you so much for that, Diamond.
Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, have a wonderful day, dude. We're gonna be playing Left 4 Dead 2 soon, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure what days. Sometime in the next week or so, I'll be available. But just let me know when you're available. I'll try to make it work. Okay.
Yeah, it's just schedules you never want to line up, do they?
No, especially when you're autistic. Anyways, I'll talk to you later, dude. We got to finish the show. Before we do, John, we got a couple super chats.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, Emperor Bots wrote in at 7:46 p.m. He sends in £2. Thank you. And all he says is weeb. John, you probably don't know what that means. A weeb
no idea at all.
A weeb is somebody from the Western world that is interested in Asian, but primarily Japanese culture. I think that's the definition of a weeb. I don't know what we were talking about that made him feel the need to give us that slur, even though it's not really a slur. It's just a semi-pejorative. I don't know. People tend to call other people weebs as a term of endearment, at least in my experience. And Point Curation sends in $2 Canadian, and he just says, "Wish you well, Max." Well, I wish you well too, dude. Thank you very much for that donation. Every little bit helps. Anyways, wait, I feel like there was one other thing I wanted to say. I just can't remember what it was. Yeah, it's usual for us. John, was there anything that you wanted to say?
No, that's it for me.
Yeah, I think that's it. I just, for whatever reason, it's probably when we're done the show, I'm going to remember something that I wanted to say, but I can't. That'll do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to remind you guys that, usually we do have a mailbag section on the show. I did remember what I wanted to do. Anyways, I'll do it in a second. We usually have a mailbag section on the show. If you want to mail in a question or send in a story, a success story, or anything else, it doesn't matter, to us so that we can read it on the show, just send it into the email that you see on screen, maxderrat@yahoo.ca. And the thing that I remembered to do before the stream ended was, hey, I see there are 60 people watching, which we're very grateful for, but there's only 47 likes and 1 dislike. Don't know what that's all about. I mean, maybe it's because we said something weebish. I don't know, but whatever. Just make sure you hit that like button, guys. Really, doing so helps out the channel a lot. I've seen a lot of people been sharing the videos over the last couple of weeks, and it's been helping the channel immensely. I don't know if you guys have been seeing the subscriber numbers for the channel, but they've been going up dramatically, and it's all because of you guys liking, sharing, and of course subscribing. So please do that. And also, the best thing that you guys can do when it comes, there are 2 things that you can do when it comes to supporting the channel. One is financially. There is a PayPal link in the description box below, but I understand not everybody has the means to do so. So please just share the video. That helps more than you could possibly imagine. Anyways, that'll do it for us. John, thank you so much as always, sir.
Thank you, Max.
And I'll see you.
Have a lovely evening.
Yeah, you too, John. And I'll see everybody that's watching live and watching afterwards next week at 7 p.m. Until then, stay yellow.